Welcome to the first PG-D&D after show for Curse of Strahd, the show where we talk about what we just did.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
All right, now if you're new to PG-D&D, our after shows are where we dive deeper into our games and we talk about theories that we have, and we get a little sneak peek behind the DM screen, and we just get to talk in general about things in kind of a more free and open space. And we do weird hand motions above our head every time because
yeah.
that's how you do it. It's the best way.
Because you never break tradition.
Now, if you're from, yep, never break tradition. Just Jeff's done it every time for Theros. Got to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
And then speaking of Theros, if you're familiar with it, first of all, you should go watch it if you're not. But second of all, we are changing our format. And instead of doing an after show after each episode, like we've done in the past, we're going to kind of do them over a longer period of time. We're going to take a couple episodes or a big event if needed, and then do an after show for those. So please let us know in the comments what you think about this new setup, and if you want us to go back, if you want us to stay where we're at, just let us know in the comments below. We really want to hear what you think. Just let us know.
And another reminder, starting on November 11th, their current campaign, Curse of Strahd, will air first on YouTube every Sunday at 12 Mountain Standard Time.
Saturday.
Did I say Sunday?
Yeah.
I apologize. Saturday at noon, Mountain Standard Time. And then the same episodes will air the following Monday at 12 Mountain Standard Time for all of our podcast platforms. So if you want to see the episodes about 2 days early, go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know immediately when those videos are live. Also, all of our after shows will be airing Wednesdays at noon Mountain Standard Time whenever we decide to do those, which will probably be about every 5 episodes, I think we have decided on. So yeah, hit the bell icon, go subscribe, check out our YouTube. That's all I got. That's my announcement.
And for those of you that have been listening to us for a long time on podcast only, go see our faces on YouTube. It's awesome.
Yes.
You can actually put a voice to the face. But before we get started into the actual after show, we're going to do a quick recap on everything just so everybody is caught up and we know what's happened up to this point. Each of our adventurers had a unique experience with a woman called Madame Ava. They each found themselves taken away in a vision where Madame Ava read their destinies through a deck of Taraka cards. They then were brought to a new strange land called Barovia, where they had met up with each other and had a brief encounter with an undead skin monster and its skeleton friend, not me. The party began to walk down the road, going further into the dreaded land, where they came across a large gate welcoming them into the land of Barovia. Stumbling upon a dead body not far from the gate with a note that warned them from the dangers of this land, they continued down the road towards a camp of friendly Vistani. There they met Stefan, who told them a story of one called Strahd von Zarovich, and let them stay the night. The next day was filled with deep questions and more traveling before they came to a large house and were asked by 2 children to help out with a monster problem. The party accepted and soon found that the house was more than what it appeared to be and found many dark secrets within. After being attacked by some armor and some animated wolves, the adventuring party went looking for a place to rest and stumbled on a horrific scene of the lord of the house hanging dead in his own bedroom. That's where we left off.
It's kind of sad when you can sum up 5 episodes in just a short period of time.
Well,
I feel
there's
like
really
we left
so much
out
more to
so
happen.
much.
That's really just like
know.
the main
Literally, I feel like
talking
I was
points.
reading that through and I was like, oh, we forgot that, but we don't have 3 hours to recap this.
But that's why we
Yeah,
have the
exactly.
after show, so that we can talk about the certain things.
Yes.
Definitely a lot more character development occurred in between.
Agreed.
Oh, for sure. But thanks for reading that anyways,
Go ahead.
because I think it's good to catch everyone up on what's going on. But to start off our first question, how do you guys feel that the Curse of Strahd campaign, how is it different from our Heroes of Theros campaign?
Thank you for raising your hand, Jefferson.
You're welcome. I'm very polite in this setting. As you know, I'm just a polite guy. No, first and foremost, I think the biggest difference for me is the fact that I am not the DM this time, which is awesome, and for many reasons, and also a little, I don't know, it's just different. I don't think it's bad in any way at all. I think it's really fun. I haven't played like an actual character in a really long time.
Yeah.
Like for an actual campaign, like I've done a couple one shots here and there over the last couple of years, but I, for the most part, have DM'd most of the campaigns I've played in for the last, I don't know, 5 years. So it's fun to like really be dedicated to a character,
It's kind of
which
nice.
is a good change of pace for me.
Kind of nice to just like take a back seat a little bit and just get to focus
Yeah.
on one character's development.
Yeah. And it's really fun, and I've loved every second of it.
Yeah.
So
I've really enjoyed role playing with you. Yeah, it's been really good. Like in a player character type of environment, not a
right.
You know, yeah, that's been really fun for me. For me, I am really loving the dark and gloomy theme of Strahd. There have been multiple times where I genuinely got the chills in real life because it was just so, I don't know. I love my dark and gloomy, so I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I think another, and this makes me even more excited to return back to Theros, is that I feel like our role playing and just us as players is getting so much better, and that makes me so freaking excited to go back to Theros, because I feel like even Theros season 2 is gonna feel, we're gonna be able to talk about comparisons of like season 1 to season 2, because it's just gonna be totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It will definitely be very different.
And to give context for everybody who's not familiar with Heroes of Theros, it is a Greek Odyssey heroic theme. So again, very, very different from Strahd.
Yes, and that one were more of the heroes, and this one were more of the monsters.
The anti-heroes.
Yeah, the anti-heroes. I love it.
Sure. Some of us.
All right.
Yeah, except for Vilix.
Zane, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest part for me is the character that I play. What vastly different by
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Like miles.
So much.
So different. But I love both of them equally. Like they're, well, I don't know if I can say equally, but I love playing. Both of them have been fun to play.
So you say you don't know if you love them equally. Who do you love more?
I don't know. I think I might like Theseus a little bit more.
I mean, you played him longer. That's understandable.
That's a really hard comparison,
Yeah.
because when you have such
very
a
different.
emotional connection to a character
True.
for
Yeah,
so
but
You
long.
played for so long,
Yeah.
over a year.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of I connected with who Theseus was, so
That's
I think
fair.
that emotional tie was there. But I love playing Vilix. Vilix is so much fun.
Oh, I love playing with Vilix.
Seriously.
And I've always been so surprised at how truly childlike you really are. Does that make sense? Like some of the stuff you say and some of the things you do, I'm like, how in the, like, where would that, like, literally only a kid would do that, like, in this moment. You know what I mean? And it is flawless every time, and I love it.
I just let the like the intrusive thoughts win. Honestly,
Yeah.
like it just like there's no filter. I feel like if
That's
it pops
awesome.
in there, that's what Vilix does.
That's
I
smart.
love it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how it works.
I mean, that kind of ties perfectly into our next talking point. card readings. What did everybody think about your guys' card readings?
Spot on.
Spot on. I was a little bit shocked by mine, and then the more that I played my character, the more I was like, oh man, that was perfect.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The comparison from, or well, sorry if you haven't watched. The comparison from my first character in Theros. Maybe Tyson, you could just go in and the editing could just put like a beep over that part.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing, and I would really appreciate it if you would do that. My first character from Theros, I put a lot of effort into his development, and I thought a lot about him. And not to say that I didn't with Xeno, but Xeno's a lot more made up than you guys might know. He's a lot more just off the cusp.
Thrown together, you might say. Like a
maybe
doll?
more like stitched together. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
necessarily thrown.
Yeah.
More like stitched or sewed. I don't know. Sewed is a good word that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
keeps coming to mind for whatever
yeah.
reason.
We'll get to that later.
So I was a little bit surprised by my anarchist card, but in certain situations, I've definitely seen it play out. Where I'm like, that was perfect. That was spot on your choice, Tyson.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yours actually, Connor, yours was the hardest for me to find. So immediately, like, I knew exactly what cards Silas and Vilix were gonna get.
Yeah.
But Xeno, like, I really had to sit and flip through things and just look and weigh out the differences. But I was pretty happy with it too. So I'm
Good
glad you
reading.
like it.
It's a good reading. I wasn't surprised by mine. Mine fit, honestly, I believe. Well, I mean, I believe. I don't know what happened. But and this might be out of pocket, but I think what I was surprised with was the order. I don't know why I didn't think I was going to go first, but I did, which was a surprise to me. Not that that matters. Like, I don't really think that the order matters, but I think just like, I was kind of like, oh, like Silas gets to go first, I guess. Cool. So, which
Just
that was the
jarring.
only surprising part. Yeah.
I also loved the whole concept of the card readings because I went back and I listened to our episodes that we have released thus far of Strahd, and it was amazing to me how much of our characters showed through in just our interaction with Madame Ava, because it was really like the first interaction that each of us got to have, and each one of our interactions with her are so different and so just opposite of each other, and I just really enjoyed that re-listening to it. It was like, oh, we're just the weirdest little Three Musketeers ever.
Seriously.
Yeah, and fun fact, but the card readings are not a part of the actual campaign itself.
I didn't know
I can't take credit for
Really?
coming up with it, but it is, yeah, they are not, that's not really how it's supposed to start, but I don't know how you would start it otherwise. Like, it's just so good, you know?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy. I never knew that.
All right.
yeah.
What's everybody's thoughts about Madame Ava?
Personally, or our characters' thoughts?
Yes. Just specify which ones.
Jefferson is fine with Madame Ava. Gets it, you know. I think a peek inside Silas's empty skull would be that I don't think he likes Madame Ava. I think he was fine with her until like he realized that like Madame Ava pulled Vilix here, and I think that he's just pissed. I think that he's just so mad because I think Silas, you know, whether or not he actually believes this stuff is real or not, like truly believes that Vilix shouldn't be here.
Interesting.
And not because he doesn't want to be with Vilix, but because he thinks that like a kid shouldn't be put through this. So There are going to be some words.
I have a
Going
feeling
to be had.
Silas is going to be very, and this is totally me just theorizing, but I think Silas is going to be really blown away with Vilix, in the sense of like thinking yes, he is an innocent child, but I think that he might be more damaged than Xeno and Silas. Personally, that's my theory. I don't want answers because I want to find out. I also want to find out why Silas is so protective over Vilix.
I don't. Silas doesn't even know that. To be honest with you.
Does Jefferson know? Do you have an idea?
Nah, Jefferson has an idea,
but not. I like how we're talking about you in the third person.
Jefferson has an idea, but Jefferson isn't sure. Jefferson often isn't sure about many things.
What about
What
you,
do you
Zane?
think about, Madame Ava, Zane, or Vilix?
What do I think about Madame Ava?
Yeah, or Vilix.
Vilix, Vilix liked her.
Yeah.
You know, like she gave him like some berries.
I know, that was the best interaction.
I mean, like he didn't really have. I don't feel like. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun talking with her. I feel like Vilix doesn't have many ties where he came from, so he doesn't really feel like Madame Ava like pulled him from anything super important.
That makes sense.
Now he's off on adventure. He's met new friends because of her.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I didn't think of it that way. And Silas didn't either, obviously, but.
Well, Silas thought of it, but Jefferson didn't, right?
Jefferson did. No, Jefferson did. Silas didn't.
Yeah. I don't know if Xeno trusts her or doesn't trust her yet. I don't think Xeno trusts many people.
Does Xeno trust Silas?
More than Silas trusts Xeno.
Yeah, I mean
sure.
That's a given.
Yeah,
but.
For sure. I think Silas would be surprised how much he trusts Silas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not the most trustworthy individual.
Really?
Or the most trusting individual.
What?
Yeah, I know that's a shock. But
that's crazy, isn't it?
He is loyal to his friends. His true friends.
That's fair.
Well, speaking of trust, like, what about just the Vistani in general, or even like Stefan? Like, what do you guys think about all of them?
I was like I'm a little bit hesitant because just because they are Vistani blood, they get treated so much different. And they just didn't seem to, I don't know. They seemed too okay with everything. Like Xeno was a little bit weirded out that they were just okay with how we were. So personally, I don't trust the Vistani. As speaking as Xeno.
I don't know if Silas trusts or doesn't trust the Vistani. I think he trusts them enough to leave Vilix with them. But I think that was more of a selfish attempt to pawn off the responsibility of a kid. And I think, there's more of a selfish reason why he did that. But I don't think Silas just doesn't really know enough what's going on. Like, he listened to the story, but like, I don't think he's really like, oh, like the Vistani can leave and other people can't. They don't do anything about that. Like, I think he infers that, well, the Vistani brought them here to maybe do something about that. And he doesn't understand like how that's different than them doing something or whatever. But
I have been surprised how in denial Silas is about the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like being in Barovia.
Yeah, just thinking that it's all fake, like thinking that
Yeah,
it's all a
I did
dream
not
in
see
it.
that coming.
It's like, at what point, Xeno just keeps wondering, like, at what's it gonna take? At what point is Silas gonna really be like, okay, this is real?
Well, and why does he think that it's all just fake, but still cares so much about
Yeah,
Vilix?
that's a great
Right?
point.
So
I'm gonna
that
write,
can
Because if
be
it's all fake,
some.
I'm
why-
gonna write that down.
So
Write that down. Write that down.
don't. I'm being exposed. So I know this will come up later, but Silas doesn't know his past. Jefferson doesn't know Silas's past either. I wrote this character and basically was like, hey, Tyson, I've got some ideas of maybe what my character's backstory could be, but I would love to have an amnesia like catch, like write my character, which I'm grateful that he did, because he could have said no, and I
On
recognize
top of
that.
doing this entire campaign, have a
know.
character's backstory and everything that you also
I know, and I'm sorry for that. And I think it came
No,
more
it's fine.
from the desire of writing a good character. And I think like I really wanted to
Mhm.
write a good character just because I haven't played a character in so long. And this is like, my first time playing a character, and it will be recorded and stuff. Anyway,
And you were like,
You
well,
knew
I
that
know.
I could write a better
I
character.
know.
I do.
than
I mean,
right?
you wrote the whole last campaign, so I don't
Yeah,
understand.
so-
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I think because you asked the question earlier, Connor, why Silas is so protective over Vilix. And I said that Silas doesn't know, and I don't think Silas really knows. And then you just barely asked the question, like, oh, well, if he thinks it's fake, why is he still so protective of Vilix? I think Jefferson thinks that it, more than anything, is instinct. Whether or not that speaks to anything from his own past, Jefferson doesn't know.
Yeah.
And Silas sure as heck doesn't know, right? But it feels like more of an instinct than anything else.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
And so I don't know if that messes up what the background is, but again, like I have nothing to play off of, right? And I think
Yeah.
there's really a war in Silas's head between like, okay, do I care because I don't think this is real? Or like there's like this inkling like, but what if it is? You know what I mean? You're just gonna like let this kid go off and like get killed or get hurt or get stolen by the creepy turtle man? Like,
Get stolen.
okay, like maybe
Get taken by orphan stealers.
Yeah, right. So it's like, okay, maybe if it is real, big if, right? Like if it's real, then
Mhm.
like maybe play along a little bit. Like maybe just at least watch out for the kid.
You know,
So-
it would be so funny. I just had this thought as you were talking about, well, I don't know if I messed up my own backstory and this and that. How funny would it be if you're like, hey, Tyson, I want to have an amnesia twist, and Tyson's like, yeah, sure, totally. And then he just didn't come up with anything,
so
knowing
it's
that
just
you would
me
just
making
roleplay,
it
and then as you're going, he's just like, yeah, I like
I-
that, and that gives
I'm
me this
like,
idea, and I'm going to do that.
Connor,
Like,
you need to stop talking right now. You're giving away all
Tyson,
my secrets.
I've turned into you. Somebody has to do it.
Genius.
Somebody has to
No.
do it.
Genius, literally genius.
That really
I probably
that
would've done
really would be a good way to do that for like people, because then they would naturally role play what they want to do, and then you could just build off their own
Mhm.
ideas, and so they're writing it and you're just like, yeah, that's a good idea.
So how much of a peek? Obviously, I'm not going to say anything, but how much of a peek do you want to know about what I have written? I'm not going to give anything away, but do you want any sort of anything, or
It's tempting. That's very tempting.
I'm gonna leave it up to Connor and Zane, because it's neither. Because I trust you, Tyson. Like I trust that you won't be like, hey, by the way, here it is, right? But
Yeah.
it's fun to hear something, but it's also fun to be in the dark. So I'll leave it up to Connor and Zane to decide.
well, I'm not going to give any.
I don't know if I
secrets, but-
want to yet. I don't know if I want to yet.
Well, I mean, he just said he's not gonna give like anything away. He's just gonna like
Yeah, I'm not gonna give anything away.
allude to how much
just
he's done.
Yeah,
all right.
essentially.
All right. All right. How much?
Okay.
How much have you done?
So, so Connor is not completely wrong, but I purposefully
Nice.
I have written you do have a backstory, and there are events that take place that I
Okay.
know of,
All right.
but I have left it open still. And this is what it's hard to do if as a DM, like if a player gives it to you, you don't want to write a story and be like, this is your backstory, this is your character. So I just tried to create like events that happened that led up to where you were.
Gotcha.
But essentially, I've left it open enough to where you can fill things in as you want your character to be, right?
I like it.
So it definitely has a lot that you can run off of, but I do have a few key events that happened and things that took place and where your character was in all
Gotcha.
aspects of life and like things like that. But
That makes sense. Yeah.
specifics of everything is kind of because I didn't want to be like, here's your character, and you're like, no, that's not
Right.
my character.
Yeah.
Right.
You
know?
almost kind of have to
So-
do that a little bit with the amnesia thing.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because and you told me that like I had a sense of when we first wrote this, like even though I didn't have any memories, like you told me that I would have a sort of sense of myself, like who I am as far as like not Silas, was a part of this organization and did this, but more of like no, like this is what Silas believes is right and wrong, like what he feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What he believes in or not believe in,
Mhm.
So and that's why I think the answer is, as far as like watching over Vilix, is more of instinct. And I don't know if that's like a fatherly instinct, like Silas was a dad in the past, or like a brotherly instinct, like, maybe Silas had a kid brother or something, or even, just a non-familial relationship where he was a mentor to somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Or
it could be
I
anything.
mean, like you could have even like burned down an orphanage, and now you're forced to take care of this orphan as punishment. It literally could be anything.
Karma.
Yeah, literally, it could be anything. I could have stolen orphans.
Yeah.
So speaking of, it could have been anything. Right out of the gate, you woke up, and the first thing that got said to you was, "Don't forget about the bargain we made," or something like that. Don't
Are you
forget
talking
about
about
the
me?
bargain. I'm talking about you,
Yeah.
Silas.
Yep.
Sorry, you talking about Silas?
Yeah. I want to know what's up with that.
Silas
and-
has no
Warlock.
idea.
And what is your theory?
Jefferson's theory is he has no idea.
Because somehow Silas put himself in this situation.
I don't know if he did though,
How?
unless I could see Silas cutting a deal, sacrificing himself for somebody else. And not that I think Silas is so self-sacrificing. I actually think Silas doesn't believe he's very self-sacrificing, or was, right? Like his previous life.
Yeah.
And I think he feels the regret in that now in this life. And so I would assume that maybe he did something bad, or maybe someone he was attached to did something bad, or he stood by while something bad happened. And then as a byproduct got killed himself or whatever, right? And so then he, in his final moments, was like, hey, give me another shot at being the man that I should have been, right? And I will, and I'll do anything. But again, this is me just like theorizing. This is a big I don't know.
As you were
right?
describing it, I was literally thinking the exact same thing. I was like, what if you were like, because you're like, what if he wasn't a good guy in the past, blah 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 blah. I was like, what if he did cut this deal so that he could like have that afterlife opportunity to like, hey, let me make amends, like let me make amends and do it different than I did it before.
Right. And then, yeah, and help at least somebody. And that's also why he probably doesn't think this is real, because like, you know,
He might.
like
He
this
feels like
to
he
him
doesn't
is just,
deserve it.
yeah, I think so, or
Mm.
he does deserve it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I don't think right now Silas is at all viewing this
Ooh.
as a second chance. I think he's viewing this as his hell, like as his punishment, his purgatory. You know what I mean? And
And
what
I'm
that
the
is,
gatekeeper.
yeah, exactly, right? Like this crazy land full of like crazy stuff and
Mhm.
like, you know, this creepy dude he doesn't like or trust, and then this
It's
random
almost like
kid.
Xeno's the devil on your shoulder and Vilix is the angel.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for real. That's crazy.
You're the main character.
Anyway, it's a lot and it's really exciting, and I'm burning up. Hold on.
I think
I am really excited to discover more of your backstory, though. I am very
Me too.
excited.
Same.
Me too.
Same. I'm excited for Silas to trust me.
I think he trusts you more than he thinks.
Really?
That's fair. I could agree
Yeah.
with that for sure.
I mean,
And it's
it kind of
come
did
out-
show.
Go ahead.
There's been a couple times where I can totally see that, where you've I don't know, even though they're small things, kind of relied on Xeno to do certain things.
Mm-hmm. Like in this last episode when you were fighting the suit of armor, and like literally like there were multiple times within that fight that Silas was like, "Where's the kid? Take care of the kid. Go watch for him. Make sure he's
Nah,
okay."
that's
You know,
fair.
like
That's
he
fair.
definitely put things. He said, "Do this so I can do this," and it was
Yeah.
directly involving Vilix. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
with
know if I like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Nope.
We're talking
Nose
about you.
goes.
All right. It's almost like when it comes to Vilix, your trust level for Xeno goes way up when there's danger around, but when there's not danger around, your trust level for Xeno with Vilix goes in the complete opposite direction.
It's because he believes you're the danger when there's
Yeah.
not other danger around.
That's so funny.
That is funny. Yeah. I don't think I realized that. Like, I don't think I realized how quickly Silas in that fight was like, "Hey, don't go take care of the kid."
And I did.
Well, I don't even know if Silas realized it. You know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I don't know if Silas realized it.
Yeah.
Like I think he just acted.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to give a shout out to freaking Vilix for like the coolest thing that's happened up to this point in the campaign. Shooting that, what was it?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What?
I haven't listened back to that episode yet.
Well, you know he already shot.
Oh
the
yeah,
wolf.
you're right. You're right.
You know he shot the wolf.
He
at
told me.
least.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
False
Like,
alarm,
Jefferson, how have you
everybody.
not deduced what happened? Like, I'm pretty sure we talked about it in game.
You know what? The question
Yeah.
is, does Silas believe Vilix? Like, I bet Silas is actually a little bit too much of a denial to think that Vilix was powerful enough to do that.
I don't know. I think that if Vilix said he did it, I think Silas would believe him, but I think he would like brush it aside. You know what I mean? Like I think he would amount it to not much.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, does that make sense? He'd be like, "All right, kid, you did it, but like this time you did. What about next time? You know?"
But do the
Or
coin
like it
trick
was a lucky
again.
shot, you know? Or does that make sense? And I think that's because like he's kind of accepted that you guys are magic. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he doesn't understand that. And I think that's the biggest thing is like he doesn't understand what magic is and how magic is wielded, and that Vilix is a powerful magic
Yeah.
wielder, right? Like
Yeah, you've proven that.
no, and he has, right? But it's just like Silas doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm
I'm assuming Silas is coming from a place where he doesn't like know, like magic to him is fake. You know, it's smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? And so the fact that like actual magic is happening in front of his eyes, he kind of like doesn't believe it,
I-
which adds to him not believing that this stuff is real.
I love that the most impressive thing that Vilix has done is pull the coin out from behind your ear. Like, that was the thing that Silas was most like, see, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
understand that. And was like, that was really, just like it made sense to his brain.
Yeah, because I mean, he's seen a magician do that. You know what I mean?
Freaking Vilix is over here blowing people up,
Yeah.
rolling on this wild magic table.
Turning invisible and yeah.
But it's the cantrips that really hit hard. The thing that like literally your lowest level spell wielder could
Well,
do.
you gotta think of it. I'm just again, Silas has no baseline.
Yeah.
Well, his baseline
Well,
is
it's what he
parlor
can
tricks.
understand.
Yeah, his baseline is
Yeah.
parlor tricks. His baseline is he's
Mhm.
seen a magician in a top hat and a mustache. Well, maybe, I don't know, but like I'm implying he is, right? Pull a coin from an ear. You know what I mean? Like everybody's seen
Yeah.
that. Like, of course that he does that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's why
Yeah.
Silas.
Your question is, so it's
I don't
like,
think
why
he
does
doesn't.
Does he? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it's interesting to think, like, does Silas think that it was sleight of hand or if it was real magic? You know, because
Yeah, Silas doesn't know, though, right?
So it's kind of like, oh yeah, you're magic.
Right. And so it's less like he doesn't believe in Vilix or that Vilix is powerful enough to do it. It's more of like he literally just doesn't understand it. And he's not smart enough to figure that out yet. And I think it will just take time to be exposed to a magical world for him to be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is magic.
You ready to be in the hot seat,
Well, yeah.
Mr. Vilix Thrawn?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
All right. What happened to your parents? Just kidding. Don't actually tell us if you know.
What happened?
I would love to ask.
I will say I
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that I do know. I do know what happened.
You do know what happened. We don't want to know. We want to find out in game.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
my
no, I
Jokes
was
on
gonna
you
say-
guys. I actually wrote all of your backstories, so
False.
the rest of the
I-
audience know, but I wrote them all. So
You actually might have written mine because I don't think I sent you anything. A little bit.
I
that's
think you
so
sent me
funny.
stuff.
Some.
I'm pretty sure you sent me stuff.
This is
If
like
not,
you
we
get
talked
what you
about
get.
Connor's like, I'm a ragdoll turtle man.
No, it was more like, hey, I kind of
Okay.
want my past to be inconsequential. Like, I'm more focused on the present and the future. But we'll get to that.
Ugh,
What
a good player.
What do you think happened to Vilix's parents? Do you, Jefferson and Tyson, think that he killed his parents?
There's no doubt in my mind that he killed his parents.
You think so, huh?
I think so. I think he killed him with fire,
Okay.
which is why he's averse to fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think when he gets overly emotional, he loses control of his abilities. I feel like that is one reason also why he's been moved to orphanage, because even though there's somebody following him burning down orphanages, I think he's also burned down a couple himself. So I don't know.
Interesting. Tyson, I guess Tyson, you know, huh?
Yeah, you know. So I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I
pose
know. I
a
can't
theory.
answer any of these questions.
What's your
Alright.
theory, Connor?
I don't think that he killed his parents, personally.
Really?
I truly don't. I think that there might have been some reason that he thinks that it was his fault, but I don't think that Vilix was actually personally responsible for his parents' death.
Hmm.
And so I think that's why he kind of has the guilt of like being afraid of fire without, I don't know. I personally don't think that he actually killed his parents.
But he thinks that he did.
Yeah, I think that he
Or he,
I think
in some
he
way,
thinks
holds
that
himself
he is responsible somehow, and that's
Gotcha.
just because of his age and because of his innocence. But I'm
makes
very
sense.
curious
That's
to
so
see,
sad.
and that's where I think the burns on his hands. I don't know if that was him. Maybe it was,
Hmm.
but I personally don't think it was.
Interesting.
I think that I think he is the danger. the danger follows Vilix around for whatever reason. Maybe his parents made a deal or something back in the day, and now they are gone, and he is left to pay for it. That's the thought that I've had. I don't know though for sure.
And I wonder, will whatever's following him follow him here to Barovia? Is it powerful enough to do that?
I think if it can burn down an orphanage, I think it can.
I mean, anybody can burn down
And
an orphanage.
they said that it was, well, I don't know about that.
But
I tend to disagree with you on that. I respect your opinion, but I think you're wrong, and that's
a
okay.
crackhead with like a gallon of gasoline could burn down the orphanage.
And I don't think
A crackhead with a gallon of gasoline could do a lot of things, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, I don't think he can make it to Barovia, though. That's all I'm saying.
Probably right, but don't ever underestimate the hustle of a crackhead.
I'm not going to argue that. That's not my place.
True.
I think it will. I don't know if Vilix knows what it is. I don't even know if he knows that if it is a thing. I don't know if he knows that it's actually a thing. I'm really curious to find that out. But you are immensely unfazed by trauma.
Is that because you
Right.
were a kid and you don't understand it, or is it because you've experienced a lot of it?
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, gotta hear your thoughts.
Who, me?
I'm like trying really hard not to answer because
Well, if you
I don't
can't,
know.
if you can't do it in a, that's okay. If you can't do it, definitely don't.
I mean, I know his backstory, and Vilix knows his backstory, so I can't really theorize. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because of his age. I feel like Vilix is more traumatized and more damaged than Silas and Xeno. I think that even though he's a very young kid, my gut feeling and Xeno's gut feeling is that this kid has seen a lot. Because for him to not even be afraid of Xeno is like a pretty foreign concept to Xeno. He's not used to like even going into that camp and people like not being just like screaming in terror from him is like a very like, oh, like these people aren't afraid of me, which made him a little bit uncomfortable. But with Vilix, it's a little more that he's it makes him concerned for Vilix. Oh my gosh,
Interesting.
Are we just like both? Is this kid just gonna change both of our lives?
I mean, duh.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew day one.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I was very excited for my character to be able to role play with the kid.
Me too.
And you've done it in such a phenomenal way.
Literally, yeah.
Thank you.
Every part of
Yes,
Vilix
yes.
is like perfect, flawless.
What else? What other theories you got? Zane, you can always just make theories up and get us going off on tangents that have nothing to do with anything.
I could.
You're like, yeah, but why does Vilix only have 9 toes? And we're like, I don't know. Does he only have 9 toes?
Zane's like, I don't know.
We've never even stopped. We've never checked. Next
The
campaign.
first thing Silas does.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's so obsessed?
Take off your shoes, boy. Let me see your toes.
Take off your shoe. Why do you think he's so obsessed with skin? Maybe it's because his skin isn't his own.
I hate
Well, what if
that.
Squeaks is actually the main character? He's just possessing this
Yes.
body that is
That's the one.
Vilix, but it's really just
That's
Squeaks.
the one. Yeah.
What if he actually isn't an innocent little tiefling boy? What if he's like a lord from the hells?
Trap.
Oh.
Yeah, who got like trapped in this body.
What if the Lord from the Hells is Squeaks?
Or is like Vilix's dad or something. And
Dude,
that's
time
why.
out, time out, time out.
Okay, let's hear it.
That's
Time
What do you
crazy.
got?
That's
Time out.
What do you
All
got?
right, listen, listen here. Sidle up here.
See, that wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to get us
No.
off track.
Holy cow. All right,
What
this
you
is
got?
not off track. This is back on track.
Oh, this is the
I think
story.
Connor and I, this is the headlines, breaking news. Vilix Thrawn. Backstory discovered. Vilix is the son, the Prince of Hell. He is the son of the King of Hell. He left because he doesn't like Hell, right? Because his
Mhm.
dad is really mean and controlling, and so, but he has no parents, and so he's having to bounce around in these orphanages, not fitting in because he's not a kid. He's a
Mhm.
demon, literally, not a demon spawn,
Well,
but like an
devil.
actual demon, devil who's never experienced mortality in the real world before. But all these freaking dire wolves are following him around to try and take him back down to his dad. And his dad sent the dire wolves out, right? Because they were wolves, and dire
Mhm.
wolves are hell wolves, right? And so they are sniffing Vilix down, burning down all of orphanages, following him. And
That's-
they're gonna follow him here.
That's a
too.
good one. And to add on to that, in one of our music playlists, there is a song called Tears of Asmodeus.
And is it a
Is that a
sign to
coincidence?
Vilix? I don't think so.
Not.
Confirmed.
So
I think not.
That would be
I
really
like that theory.
crazy
That's-
though. That would be really crazy.
I'm betting my money on it now.
We'll see. If it wasn't, it is now.
Yeah. As always. As
And
true
and
to
we
the
know
Eddie D&D campaign.
we know from experience that Zane loves role playing daddy issues. Okay.
Go check out here.
Go
with
check out
Theros.
Theros.
Drama.
It's so good. You guys gotta go
It's
watch
so
Theros.
good. Whew.
I don't think I'll
Well, I
ever
think-
play a character that doesn't have like some form of trauma.
Yeah. It's
Well,
the whole
that's D&D.
point.
Yeah.
It's just that's D&D.
It's
Like
just boring if you don't.
people don't go on adventures if
Makes more
they
fun.
don't have trauma or
That's why I've
They're
never
healthy
gone on an
individuals.
adventure as Jefferson. I don't have enough trauma to just leave and slay a dragon.
Wow. I definitely have gone on some adventures in my life.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna go rethink my life right now, dude. Holy cow. That whole Denver phase of my life and just like flashed before my eyes. Like, all right. Let's move on.
Well, I think that now is the time to get to one of the most theorized characters that we have so far of Xeno. So, first off, like, what was he even doing with that group of people? Like, at the very beginning, like, what was going on there?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? How does little buddy Orthok, the Dragonborn, Black Dragonborn, Zane, did you watch it?
Watch what?
I have not. I
Oh.
have
Oh, 'cause he was
no idea
gone.
what
Yeah, you
happened.
were gone.
He was
He was
out of there.
gone.
I forgot about that.
So
He was just not there.
I'll give you a
All these
little-
theories.
I'll
all
give you
these
a little.
theories are on you,
Theories.
Jeff.
I'll give you a little
I-
recap, really quick. Really quick.
It really,
Wait on
seriously.
it.
Xeno was in a camp. I was doing a meditation. I got
Give me-
pulled into Madame
give me the
Ava.
meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to contact something. I got pulled into Madame Ava's realm. I came back. I was in a camp full of people. I had my little second in command. His name is Orthok. He's a really skinny black dragonborn. And I basically gave this speech to these people of like, hey, all the new friends take care of each other. All the old friends, show them how it's done. Like, we got contacted by the other side. Everything is moving ahead. Everybody started giving me gifts. I put them all in this bag. Then I was like, I gotta leave. Made
forgot
my
about
way
the
into the
gifts.
woods, and I grabbed that little bag that everybody put all these handmade gifts into, and I just threw it off into the woods.
Forgot about that too.
A guy named Argal came and handed me a letter that was from supposedly the burgomaster of Barovia, the city, and yeah. And then I went into the mist, and that was about the time that you were like, "Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I haven't been able to hear Connor for the last 30 minutes." And we all got a good laugh. It was even funnier listening to it the second
Classic.
time. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Classic.
So that's the synopsis. I basically had a group of people that were doing what I wanted.
I think this is not. This is more of to who what. This is more of to what Xeno's doing now. I think than it is to what he was doing. I think for the first time in a long time, Xeno is not bewitching or charming the people around him to be around him. Personally, I think that Xeno, and I say personally like Jefferson, because Jefferson knows that he's a College of Whispers bard, right? Silas doesn't know that. Jefferson does. And so Jefferson is speculating that Xeno is gathering friends, not necessarily willingly.
So
But
you think it's like a enchanted musical instruments in the Fae type of situation where you get stuck.
I mean,
you get stuck dancing and being cheerful
absolutely.
for the rest of your life, and you can't break
yes,
this.
I do. Yes,
Interesting.
I absolutely do. I think that, I mean, because you're from the Feywild, are you not? Yeah,
I was residing in the Feywild, that's for sure.
but you're not from the Feywild.
I don't know. I could be. I was definitely living there for a little bit. Or
Okay,
a
so
long
you were
while.
in the Feywild. I hate you.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Silas hates Xeno. Jefferson hates Connor. I love that we're just playing ourselves right now.
It checks out.
This is good. This is good. I'm writing this down. Keep going. I'm coming up with a bunch of good ideas.
No, I think that Xeno is really powerful. Much like Vilix is a very powerful magic user, I think Xeno's powerful in other ways, in ways that he hasn't really shown us yet. Which I, as Jefferson, I'm excited to see. But I wonder how Silas will react to what things College of Whispers bards do, you know? So I'm very interested to see that play out. But as far as Silas goes, Silas has no idea. I mean, Silas is like, just is creeped out by Xeno all around. Except for in Crisis.
Yeah. What about my shell? You are obsessed with my shell.
I am obsessed with your shell.
I'm so glad
I
I
think
rolled so
it's-
poorly.
I am so mad. I have never been more upset in my life, I think. Because it was the only chance I ever had.
No, it wasn't. I'll give you more chances.
Oh, I'm sure.
I will.
When you have me looking out from one of your jars, I'm sure.
Connor will give you more chances. Connor, the role-playing friend, will give you more chances. Xeno wouldn't, but I will because I like you.
Fair. That's fair. I think Silas is still. I think it's coming from mistrust. Silas does not trust Xeno.
Yeah.
And because Xeno is so secretive about his shell.
What?
And about himself, I think Silas is curious, but more from mistrust rather than genuine curiousness. I think he thinks something's up. I think he thinks like you're not as you seem, which is pretty apparent, but
Yeah.
Yeah, how dare you keep secrets from us?
Dude, I told you guys. If there's one thing I was doing this campaign, I'm playing the long game. I'm taking a note from Zane, my boy right here.
I like it.
I'm playing the long game as long as I can.
50 episodes down, we still don't know his backstory.
54 out of 55, we finally learned.
Well,
And then it's the end of the season.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if we'll ever figure out my backstory because I know a little bit of it, but I really don't. I really did not make like my other character from Theros. I made from the backstory forward. With this character, I made it from okay, where's he at right now forward. Because I just knew with Strahd and how it was, like, okay, I could come up with a lot of backstory stuff, but the type of character that I want to play is not backstory driven. It's forward driven, if that makes any sense. So I knew it would be kind of inconsequential. Yeah, it's not about like where he was. It's about what he's doing right now and what his plans are for the future. So I do have backstory, but it's more like future planning of a backstory of kind of like where I want it to go, but that really depends on. Yeah, we'll see. Depends on some
That
stuff.
makes sense.
How many jars of I can get and how many people I can shrink.
That's fair. It's like simple in you know what I mean? Like it's simple, but where you're going is complex.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like almost kind of like opposite of Theseus. Like I would say that his backstory is complex, but where he was going was simple.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is similar to that. And I don't think I really realized that until just barely that that's how the type of character that I'm playing. And I don't think I've ever role played a character like that before.
I like it.
But Strahd sets up the perfect environment to kind of do that.
So why did Argal give Xeno the letter? And who even is Argal?
He's obviously Vistani because he can leave.
That is.
Did you ask?
I didn't realize that until now.
Did
but
you?
You're right.
Connor, did Xeno ask Stefan if he knew somebody by the name of Argal?
I don't think I did.
Why?
I don't know. That's a good question. Cause
I could argue.
I didn't make the connection of Argal, like genuinely Connor. I didn't make the connection of him being Vistani until you just said that. And then it was like, oh yeah, he is Vistani because he
would have to be, right?
Yeah, because
if
he left.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that until now either. Hold on.
I mean, I'll ask Adam Beva.
That's smart.
I personally think Argal is like some henchman, like Connor thinks he's some henchman of Strahd or something.
But why would Strahd want you there?
Well, I could think of a couple reasons.
What are they? Please tell.
I don't know. You'll have to look inside my shell. But don't get too close or you might get sucked in.
I believe it. 100%. I think your shell is like a mini, almost like a bag of holding. It's like an extra dimensional space.
Yeah.
Packed into a small place. Or like the warlock packed of the genie, which he might actually be.
I think that there's an entire matrix in his show, and that there's an entire reality.
Hold
that
on. Time out.
Okay, what's...
No, you give Bardic
like Men in Black? Like the Men in Black opened the locker and there's another world, open that locker, there's another that's basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
No,
my
think. Yeah.
I mean, just because I haven't yet doesn't mean I won't, Jefferson.
Well, what?
I mean, I'm obviously a bard now.
That's fair.
But that doesn't mean that that won't change.
You have given Bardic inspiration.
I could definitely see you being a warlock. It makes so much sense. Like, just being like, I mean, obviously, like I said, not right now, but like in the future for sure. Just like what like your relationship is. Obviously, you came into the beginning like worshiping something, like preparing. So you're speaking to maybe some higher entity of some kind. You have worshipers, followers that are with you, very culty like. You know what I mean? Like you're preparing for something big. What is it? We don't know. Is it something? I don't know. But yeah.
I like that. What do you think, Jefferson? Your wheels are turning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do gymnastics in my head and weigh like we're level 3. Is he 1 level warlock, 2 levels bard, or 1 level bard and 2 levels warlock? It doesn't work for either. So did Tyson let him roll up level 4 or 5?
You're the only level 3. The rest are level 20. I forgot to tell you that. So
all right.
He just told us to take it easy, pull our punches.
That's great. Silas needs to learn.
Oh
that
no,
he's not
I'm out of second level spells.
Guy.
Dang it.
I guess I'll just cast wish,
I cast wish
which
under
is
my
also a
breath.
second level spell. Yeah.
I will say this. You both have had some close theories. Both of you combined have had some really, really good theories. And you've given me some good ideas.
It's the Matrix one. It's definitely the Matrix.
You've given me some good ideas too.
I wonder if Xeno collects souls.
I do love
Here's
friends.
why. People
Dude,
follow
I
him.
can see that. For sure. For
Uh-huh.
sure.
So he bewitches them and almost like a parasite, like invites a host to come in. He like has to like feed off their soul and like take them.
Would I?
In like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of way. Like makes
Yeah.
deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a deal.
I do love trade. Would I keep you two around though if that was the case?
Not if you didn't need it in this world.
I guess I could also be using you guys as a cover almost,
True.
potentially.
Also, does Silas have a soul that you could be
Ooh, that's a good question.
sleeping from?
Maybe that's why I'm hanging around you guys, is that I'm very piqued.
And
My
then if
interest is
Vilix is a
piqued.
devil, he wouldn't have a soul either, right?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Potential theory there. I don't know.
Not if Vilix is a devil, but because Vilix is the devil.
The devil.
He's the devil.
How cool?
Because I am the
How
devil
cool
from
would that
the
be,
Bible.
though? I'm just saying, if you were like some prince of one of the levels of the hells, like
Just out on holiday.
that would be crazy.
It's literally the
Or if
demigorgon.
it's like a little Nicky situation, you know, son of the devil has to save his dad, the devil,
Yeah.
so he can.
Yeah.
And I don't think Squeaks is actually a mouse. I think he's a giant space hamster.
Fitting.
What if Squeaks is a god?
I could see it.
You would burn up and die because you're a devil.
Doesn't mean it has to be a good god.
Ooh, touche. God of the underworld.
Ooh. There's always got to be an evil god.
What if
Yeah.
Vilix is so powerful that in his rage, in his uncontrolled rage, he trapped his father, one of these lords of the hells, into a mouse, and now that's why he's being chased and pursued everywhere that he goes.
Why wouldn't he just
Which,
give
by
up
the way,
mouse?
we've totally made up that Vilix is being chased and pursued everywhere he goes. We're just going off the one time that we saw an orphanage burned
The
down
one
and
time
and a
that
bunch
happened.
of creatures running away. We're
It can
assuming
be
they were there for
pretty
Vilix.
heavily implied
Yeah.
that that's happened many
Well,
times.
I guess twice. We know for sure twice.
When was the second time?
I think the kids bullying you said something about, I heard you burn down that other orphanage or something, or maybe they were talking about you killing your parents.
No,
one of the
it was he
two.
burned down an orphanage.
I think it was he burned down an orphanage.
Yeah. I have to go back and listen.
Who knows?
Well, this is kind of changing topics, but this is something else I've been thinking about. But does Xeno feel guilty about getting Vilix shot?
This is one thing that I was very, very, very excited to of why I was so excited to roleplay with a kid is because the type of character that I want to play is I don't want to say remorseless, because I'm not a remorseless character. I can have empathy, but I'll say maybe selfish is a very selfish character. And so when that whole situation happened, there was a moment of Xeno being like, ooh, do I need to feel bad about this? Like, is this something that I shouldn't feel good about? Because 100% this is my fault. Like, I instigated the kid. 2, I turned him invisible to instigate him even further so that he would go get Silas when I knew 3, Silas was on edge. So 100% Connor knows that Xeno was at fault for this. But I don't know if he feels guilty. A little bit? Maybe for a moment? And then that kind of went away. And then Vilix owned it and was just like, yeah, I'm that powerful. I turned myself invisible. And Xeno was going to say something, but then you said that. And Xeno was like, I don't know if I say anything. Like, maybe I just let that one...
It was like, if the kid's old enough to take the blame, then
let him
take the blame.
Yeah, kind of, which is a terrible thing. And so that kind of messes with... I was hoping that situations like this, which was amazing that it happened so soon, but I was really hoping that situations like this would come up because I want it to mess with Xeno's head. I want him to be like, okay, is that okay? Like, did I just manipulate that kid? And is what's the line on manipulating kids? Which, by the way,
maybe not manipulate, but like enable
or instigate. Which, by the way,
yeah,
Connor is totally
against. Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, so
did you say Connor is totally pro manipulating kids?
No, absolutely not. Don't you put words in my mouth, dude.
PG-DND, pro manipulating children.
No.
That is not true.
That is not true. Both of you stop. We do not stand for that.
No, we don't.
But it's just something that
I wanted to. I manipulate a child in our Dungeons and Dragons game.
Why did Vilix not rat Xeno out? Why did he just go with it? Is that something that you can talk about, or does that give away?
I'm gonna be completely honest here. I think sometimes, I think that this is part of like playing a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't explain why
mm-hmm.
he did it. You know what I mean? Like he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And he just does stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's just what kids do. Like they don't always know why. Like I can't really say that it was, for some crazy like backstory driven reason. Like it was just, I don't know. He was just a kid.
Just let the intrusive thoughts win.
Felt like I think that, and I think he just wanted to make himself seem like powerful. You know what I mean? Like he's like, yeah, I turned myself invisible. I have the power to do that.
Yeah. I love that because that knowing that, it makes Xeno's side of it so much worse. It makes it so much worse because in his mind he's like, whatever, the kid's old enough. Like if he's gonna say and take the blame, like whatever, let him take the blame. But it's like the reality is, it's our characters. Ugh. I love this little group that we have. So good.
This band of
it really is though. So what are you guys' thoughts on the book that Xeno found that was titled The Life of Xeno?
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. I'm
kind of scared to read it.
I don't even know where to go with it.
I know, I'm a little scared to read it. Man, it would be...
Definitely makes me think that he's multi-planar. You know what I mean?
Well, he was living in the Fae for some time, maybe a short time.
Right.
Could be from the Fae, maybe not. So, yeah, that tracks.
Now you're getting it.
He's probably been all over. People in Barovia have heard of him.
How interesting would it be if I just left that book out and Silas just happened to find that book?
Silas would probably read it, honestly.
Xeno's a little scared to read it.
I'll read it to you. Once upon a time, there was a creepy voodoo doll man. Yeah, that's a good question.
Why would he be scared to read it? Like, I assumed he would know about a book titled The Life of Xeno.
Why is Xeno scared of it? I don't know if I can answer that. Not because it reveals anything. I just don't think I know yet. I know it definitely scares him because there's a reason I haven't looked at it. And that's not because Connor's not curious. That has way more to do with I don't know exactly why. Yeah, I don't know.
Well-
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. I don't know why. And I hate that I can't answer that, but I genuinely don't know. You two will have to help me find that out.
Just read it.
Just read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Book
first
of
we gotta
Silas
know what it
Grimhawk.
says.
The Book of Silas. Would you read it, huh? You want to know about your past and all that bad?
Probably not. He'd probably burn it.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think he'd be too scared. I think he would wonder if it would confirm his fears of himself.
So he would
Yeah.
rather just stay in the darkness.
He would rather not know if he was he would rather not know like if he had done something bad or not in the past life than find out if he did. Because in his mind, I think he definitely leans towards, he for sure did. But if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. But the second he knows, you can't take that back.
I think
So I don't blame you for not reading it. I would not read
What
a Book
if
of
Xeno
Silas.
is scared?
What's your theory? Let me hear this.
What if Xeno is scared to read the book? Because Xeno, from what I've been hearing, it seems like he seems very confident in himself and the goal that he has. But what if this book sheds some light on this goal that he has, or who he is as a person, and changes how he thinks about himself and what he wants to accomplish or do?
Or is Xeno afraid of knowing where he's headed? Does that make sense?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that too.
Yeah.
Because you were just saying that you wanted to write a character that's very present and very like forward, thoughtful, right? And I feel like my character is absolutely opposite. Like I feel like my character is present, but he's trying to figure out who he is by piecing together his past, right? And so Silas would be afraid of figuring out what his past is because it might confirm for him his biggest fear. And maybe Xeno is afraid of reading the book because the ending of it will confirm his biggest fear, whatever that is. Whether that is a fear of failing, or a fear of falling short, or a fear of succeeding, and a fear of becoming exactly who you think you are becoming. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
it's just,
Or become the opposite of what he wants to become.
Yeah, I think
Right,
I think it's a little bit of
Those are good.
I think it's a
I
little
like
bit
those.
of all of those wrapped up, like a little bit of and maybe even a little bit of a fear of succeeding, but not in the way that he envisions it. So it's like a potential, like it could go wrong, it could go great, it could be, I don't know. And that inner turmoil
Just doesn't go
of,
how he thinks
like
it's gonna go.
if it says this is what happens, like having to deal with the inner turmoil of, okay, is that what I want? That almost is like a part of it as well.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared of that stupid book, though. I don't like that book. Watch it just be blank. I've thought
That's
that a
kind of
couple
what
times.
I thought. And maybe you write your own story.
Yeah, which would be
It's
crazy.
like Kung Fu Panda and the Dragon Scroll,
Exactly,
and he like opens
it's
it,
just
and
a
he's like,
reflection.
"It's blank."
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy, especially because
Or-
I'm probably not gonna read it for I don't want to say a long time, but yeah.
Or whatever you write in the book will happen to you.
That's dangerous.
Like the book is empty,
Tyson would be crazy enough to give me that, though.
right? But he would also know that your character is who he is and wouldn't read it for forever, and so it
Yeah.
won't be until the end.
But even then, like, I think Tyson would know that me as a player, like, I wouldn't just, that's something that I wouldn't just abuse. If that's what it was, that I would really contemplate, like that more than telling me what it would happen would screw me up as Xeno. That would mess me up more, because then it would send me into this spiral of like, well, what do I really want? And start questioning all my everything. That would mess me up if that's what it was. Thanks a lot, Jefferson. Oh, whoa! I just got all
Man.
fuzzy.
Well, so I think it's about time that we discuss the most asked question that I've heard so far from you guys, from our audience, from everything. And that question is what race or background or ancestry, whatever you want to call it, is Xeno?
Good question.
So
Conrad
I want to
Floor is
hear,
here.
and again, no, I want to hear from you guys. And again, he is a officially published Wizards of the Coast race, and he's done a few things that highly suggest as to what he is.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' thoughts?
I will say I described myself as a fae, but I'm not just a fae creature. That's just a very broad. I've lived in the fae for a while. I'll give you that one, Jefferson. I've lived in the fae for a while.
Okay. I want to like pull open all the published races and like go down the list. and see
Go
which
for
ones
it.
we get.
You'll find me in there if you look. You will find me in there. And
I don't know.
There's other clues, especially about stuff that you've been theorizing about tonight, that have to do with my character, that are big hints of what.
Is it not from 5e?
No, it's from
No, it
5e.
is.
Past.
Nope.
It's from 5e.
It's from 5e.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to know yet.
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you.
No, I know. I don't know if I want to like look for it yet. Because I still love the idea that you're just a voodoo doll, piloted by some smaller creature within yourself. So, that's just something I'm not ready to give up on.
I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, what's to say that he's not, right?
Yeah.
But as
That's
far as
true.
like the mechanics of his character go, what mechanical structure is his background?
What if he's a plasmoid? That's what I've been thinking.
That would
That
be
makes sense.
crazy. That would make sense with like
That
the
makes a
interdimensional,
lot of
right?
sense. Yeah.
He's all
It actually
stretchy, and he has
tracks.
things sewn. He has things sewn on him. What if he has someone else's skin sewn on top of him?
I do like skin, and I do like bargains, especially stretchy skin.
So underneath all the skin, he's all plasmoid, but we don't see the plasmoid.
That is a solid guess, Zane.
Mm-hmm.
I can absolutely see the logic behind that one. Don't you love how I just like agree with you guys?
I hate it.
It just threw me off.
I
hate
should've
it
been a-
so much.
I should have
Nothing to
been
do
a
with any of
lawyer,
it.
dude. Honestly, though,
have-
I'm being genuine. Like, I'm not being like just instigative or anything. Like, I think that's a really, really good theory of what race he is.
I have the published races open, and none of them have anything to do with Xeno and who he is.
I will say,
I haven't even looked at it. I gotta
Don't-
get that out right now.
my appearance is not. My appearance is more flavor than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say that there's not huge hints of what type of
Unless you're really just a turtle,
fantasy creature.
which is dumb.
A turtle. I will say this: I'm not a turtle.
Okay, thank you.
The
for
shell's not
being-
mine. I was not lying when I said that.
I
The shell's
knew
not-
it.
the shell's
I
not mine.
knew the shell wasn't yours.
Zeno admitted the shell's not his. He said
Oh,
he found
yeah.
it.
I forgot.
He didn't lie about that.
Yeah.
He found it.
That was like
Sorry.
episode 2 or
It's
Ew,
something.
okay.
I
I
know.
know your
I'm
mistrust
sorry, I
for me
forgot.
is like building continually, and that's okay. I don't know. I want to look at.
Changeling?
Definitely a grung.
Is it technically a race, Tyson?
I mean, do you want me to really answer that?
Don't.
No.
'Cause yes.
Okay.
And yeah.
I'm actually just my first character. But my name wasn't actually what it is, you know? I'm actually different. I have a different name.
Okay. Alright. Maybe. I could see him being a lizard folk.
Yeah.
He's got the.
He
Like
keeps
lizard
saying,
ears.
like, yeah, lizard ears. That's not his appearance.
Yeah. I think.
Man,
I could see that. Definitely,
Zane,
like,
you're
his
like on
appearance.
fire
I
with
don't
these
see him as a
suggestions,
lizard
bro.
folk. Don't say that! Because you're gonna throw me off. You're gonna make me think I'm wrong. You're gonna make me think I'm right.
No, really,
but because
like-
I think
like-
I'm right, I think I'm wrong.
You've got some good guesses.
Like, one of them was
Exactly. Don't
right.
say it.
Good guesses. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of freaking.
Published races.
There's a ton.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Holy crap.
You're like, it's one of the published races. I'm sure you could guess it. And there's like 50. And I'm like, none of
Yeah,
these.
there's a lot.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's been published between the time of 2014 and today.
Well, duh.
So there you go.
Good one, Tyson. Good one.
I know what you are.
What?
I'm not going to say.
What's your guess?
I don't want to guess. I know what
Why?
you are.
Yeah, I know what you are
Found it.
too, and I'm not gonna say.
I found it. I'll text you
Text it to
privately.
me.
Yeah, don't say if you are or not, though. I still want to
won't.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
I
And
want to
only-
know. I want to know your guess. You genuinely think you found it?
I am almost willing to put money on it.
Okay, send it in the group chat.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sorry,
it's not
viewers.
common. It's not common. And I honestly. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
I could also see a Yuan-Ti in
Yeah.
some weird way. You know what I mean? They're snake-like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
They
that,
can have
but-
limbs.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
Yuan-Ti purebloods, they basically look very similar to humans
That's fair.
as far as features go.
Did you send it?
No, I'm
Alright,
I'm
alright.
guessing.
Sorry,
I'm
viewers
second
at
guessing
home.
myself now.
Viewers at home are mad
wanna know
right
what
now.
your guess
They're
is.
mad at you.
No,
They want to know what your guess
Because
is.
now,
I know. They're like, why are they sending it over text?
Give them what they
now-
want to hear, Jefferson.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Well, then just say it. Just say
Just
it.
say it.
Okay, it's Verdan.
Just say it.
Dan.
Obviously, that's
What is
not
that?
it. If
How do you
go
know?
with
Verdan.
Verdan.
How do you know that I'm not just pretending?
I just read the
He could be throwing you off.
the
He could be throwing you
description. It's from Acquisitions Incorporated, which is why I didn't know it because I didn't get this book until recently.
Mm-hmm.
But Verdan owes their life. Oh, sorry, owes their existence to chaos, which is Xeno, descendants of goblins and hobgoblins,
Anarchist.
transformed by the shadow of that which endures. I don't know what that is,
That's a good
but
guess.
seems a lot
That's a very good
like
theory.
Xeno. And it seems like Xeno is trying to communicate with that
I like
which
it. I like it.
endures.
My phone's actually not on. I'm just scrolling like this to throw you off.
They are very persuasive,
Okay.
and they have black blood healing.
Xeno does like blood.
I know he does.
I think you're definitely onto something. I think
Yeah.
it definitely fits
I think both
the
of you have
criteria
very
of
good
Xeno.
theories. All right, all right. Last one, boys.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, just a reflection on your characters. So sometimes, like, I know that when you're creating a character, sometimes you have like this very distinct idea of like what you want your character to be, what you want your character to act like, and then once you start playing them, they totally like take a life of their own and do something different. So how do you guys feel that your character is now versus what they were when you first like conceived them to be? Is it similar? Are they different? What are your thoughts?
Who wants to go first? All right, I'll go first because I already know my answer. My character is so much better than my original conception. Tyson and I had a very, 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 very basic concept and idea of what I wanted my character to be. And as Tyson and I sat on this call coming up with my character, it just became so much more and so much more amazing than I anticipated, and that has just continued to grow. So my character is similar to what my originally thought, but it is way different than my original thought, and I'm very grateful for that. Tyson really helped me and given me the liberty to just, I don't know. You've given me a lot of liberty with this character, and I appreciate it.
What was your original thought? If you can answer that, you don't have to.
Basically just a picture.
Was
right?
what? It was basically what?
A picture.
Wasn't it?
It was
Just a picture. Like that. I mean, that's basically what you sent me.
It was basically just a picture. It's just a couple pictures that I found, and just off of that, I just started creating. I don't know, just having an idea, and like the Joker and Smeagol or Gollum, and who else? There's another one. There's a couple characters that I've really started to. That when I was creating him, I really started to vibe with, and even like as weird as it is, like even like a xenomorph from the Alien series. I was watching all the aliens when I was coming up with this, and that's actually why I named my character Xeno, is because it was just so, I took so much inspiration from those series of what I wanted to accomplish.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. It's basically just a picture. Nothing like he is now. Nothing like he is or where he was going. I mean, Tyson really, really helped me broaden my horizons.
That's awesome.
Yep. What about you?
Yeah, it was definitely it was a lot of fun to make your character with you because I don't know, like my whole idea, like as a DM, when I sit down with a person to make their character, like I don't believe that what we have now currently in like 5e character creations, like I just like to do so much more specific things like for your character. Like I don't think that there's a way to quantify in a book, here's how your character should be made, you know. I think that it all should just come from what your idea is, and then you just roll with it while using the rules as like the backbone, right?
Yeah.
But like especially when it
Like
comes to like
guidelines.
equipment, you know. Yeah. So I love character creation. It's probably one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. What about you, Jefferson?
I would say that Silas is exactly how I wanted him to be.
Yeah, you were the first one to come up with your character out of all
Yeah,
of us.
I wanted to play a skeleton cowboy so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like from day one, and bless Tyson for letting me do it because I just thought it'd be fun to play skeleton cowboy in Strahd. And here we are
Yeah.
playing a skeleton cowboy in Strahd. So I've loved playing Silas. I think the difference has come in just how I thought who he would be is. I don't know if that made any sense. I don't know. I kind of pictured him like a lot tougher and a lot rougher, but true to most cowboy stereotypes. He's not.
Yeah.
You know what I
Very
mean?
true.
Which is fine. Like I'm glad I'm happy at where he's at. And I'd say that's the only thing that I think is different than what like my initial picture was. Was I expected him to be a little more cold or distant or off-putting or reserved than he is.
Well, you basically just described you and Vilix's relationship, but the complete opposite for Xeno. So, you know, you're getting both worlds. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, yeah, but he's exactly it's a perfect rendition of what I imagined. So, I couldn't be more happy. I'm excited to see where it goes, too.
Yeah, I'm happy you got to play a gunslinger. Merciful DM.
Merciful DM.
Mm-hmm. Praise be.
Tyson lets us take so many liberties.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about playing.
Actually, my character's pretty like all sides of.
I don't know what it is about playing Curse of Strahd with Tyson as the DM, but I just think of like the most fringe, like can't really be considered a class, but maybe characters. Nothing official either.
I mean, I will say that's one thing I appreciate about Tyson, though, is that you just let us. I mean, you really, the rule of cool, like, I saw a clip today of Matt Mercer basically talking about become a master of the rules so that you can break them like an artist. And I was like, oh, I love that so much because it's so true. Like, you can learn all the rules and everything, but it's the breaking them and when to be like, okay, your players want to have fun. Let's have fun, but still have sensibility in the fact. So I appreciate that you've let us do all that with all of our characters.
I will say that I've done it less so I can just have fun to break the game, but more because I feel like it fits the story that I want to tell with my character.
Yeah.
Which I think Tyson understands when I
Yes.
pitch it to him.
Same.
Which is one thing I love about Tyson is because, you know, he doesn't, it's not just, oh, Jefferson wants to play a fun character, so he'll play fun, but he catches the vision of the story I want to tell and then rolls with it.
100%. That's way more. That's what I was trying to say. Because I have a lot of things even about my own character that, like, flavor-wise, I have the liberty to just do them, but, like, paper-wise and actual stats mean nothing. So I agree with that. Zane, what about you? Where's your character?
Yeah,
And
you guys are like gonna inflate my head, like just like just keep it coming. Keep those praises coming. No, but I really do appreciate it though. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. You definitely you give me your stories make me want to tell them.
Yeah.
And so it's really your ideas that I'm like, yes, we
Love
have
it.
to do that, you know. So it is definitely a two-way street that way.
What about you, Vilix Thrawn?
Vilix.
I would have to say I had the idea of Vilix, and I knew how I wanted him to be, but I didn't know how, and I was kind of scared. You know what I like? I knew I wanted him to be like this little kid that was chaotic and likable and nice and friendly. And I just didn't know like how to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it just unfolded so well. I don't know how. I can't really say like I had some masterful technique besides just the what's it called? I just let the intrusive thoughts win every time. That's my technique, I guess. But no, I'd say that he has turned out how I envisioned him. For the most part, but surprised on how well it's come through. I believe.
Yeah.
I did think it'd be really weird, because just like playing a kid, it's just weird. I'm a grown man. I'm playing a kid.
Yeah.
In a Dungeons and Dragons game.
It is something that I've never really seen anybody do.
I was a little worried.
Well, you're doing phenomenal. You're doing honestly a phenomenal job.
Yeah, for real.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, for reals.
Well,
thank you.
Anything else, anybody? Okay. Well, we appreciate all of you. If you've made it this far, you are amazing, because we are 1 hour and 37 minutes into this recording, and we were planning on recording a 1 hour after show. So
Rip.
I'm sure in the future these might be a little bit shorter, but hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we did. I really had a good time with all of you sitting down and just theorizing all this stuff. I mean, it just makes me more excited for our campaign.
I agree. And I feel like we do this as much for us as we do for the audience.
Yes. Yes. To both of the things that you
feel
both
free
said.
to comment your own theories down below. Like,
yeah, for real.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
If you have theories, throw them down. We will be sure to include them. Like 100%, we will put them in there. Go ahead.
Go. No, you.
I was going to say just as long as it's appropriate.
Yeah. And please, somebody go through all the races and let me know who Connor is, because it's going to eat me up inside.
I'm a human. What are you talking about?
Please help.
Okay. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, especially on our YouTube channel. Turn on that notification bell so that you know immediately when our episodes come up. Especially if you live in different time zones, that will really help you not have to do the math on when these are going to get released. You can follow us on all of our social media tags. I've had them up here the whole time. It's at PG-DND _ on Instagram, at PG.DND on TikTok, and you can find us anywhere that you get anywhere podcasts are found. Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all the
Alexa. Or
Does
Amazon or whatever it is.
Does Alexa really do it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, we'll look at the analytics, and there are some people that actually listen to it on Alexa.
That's
so they just play it in their house.
sick. That is way cool. I did not know that. You learn
Yeah.
something new
Do
every
some
day.
chores, listen to some PG-DND.
There you go. It's
Oh,
family
yeah.
friendly. The whole family can listen to it.
Safe for work.
Yes. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can find us on there at PG-DND. Or we have all those links down below on our YouTube channel and all that. And other than that, we love you all so much. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this, share it with a friend. and we will see you next time. And as always, we love you.
Love you.
Good night.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.